Before coffee became the world's wake-up call, it was a closely guarded secret. Legend says a goat herder named Kaldi in Ethiopia discovered coffee after noticing his goat's energy from eating red berries. The secret crossed the Red Sea to Yemen, where people learned to roast, grind, and brew the beans. Coffee fueled Sufi mystics' long nights of prayer, then spread to public life. The first coffee houses appeared in Mecca and Cairo, sparking conversation and music. The port of Mocha thrived, and coffee's reputation as the wine of Araby spread. Soon coffee would inspire conversation and innovation across Europe and beyond. In the early 1600s, European merchants returned from the Ottoman Empire with tales of a strange, invigorating drink. Coffee was met with suspicion. Some called it the bitter invention of Satan. When coffee arrived in Venice, local clergy urged the Pope to ban it. Pope Clement VIII decided to taste it first. He declared, "This devil's drink is so delicious, we should cheat the devil by baptizing it." With papal approval, coffee was no longer a threat. It was a sensation. Venice became the first European city to embrace coffee, opening its first in 1645. Coffee houses offered a new kind of public space, calm, sober, and perfect for conversation. Here people discussed business, news, and politics over a cup of this stimulating drink. The idea of a place for rational discussion, not drunken brawling, was radical. Coffee's popularity spread north to London, Paris, and Amsterdam, each city developing its own coffee culture. Coffee became the drink of clarity and reason, the opposite of alcohol. In an age of change, a beverage that sharpened the mind was exactly what Europe needed. Coffee's arrival marked more than a new drink. It signaled a new way of thinking. Coffee houses became centers for sober debate and the exchange of ideas. The drink's reputation as a mind sharpener fueled its rapid spread. Coffee was no longer foreign, it was fashionable, even essential. The Age of Enlightenment found its perfect companion in coffee. The drink's journey west was complete, and Europe would never be the same. Coffee's influence was just beginning to percolate through society. The seeds of revolution and reason had been planted. With the Pope's blessing, coffee houses quickly spread across Europe. England's first coffee house opened in Oxford in 1650, followed by London's in 1652. These new establishments were nothing like the rowdy taverns of the day. Coffee houses offered sobriety, conversation, and access to news for just a penny a cup. Anyone could sit for hours, read pamphlets, and debate ideas, rich or poor, merchant or scholar. By 1700, London boasted over 3,000 coffee houses, each attracting its own crowd: merchants, lawyers, scientists, writers, and politicians. Lloyd's Coffee House became the hub for shipping news. The Grecian Coffee House, a meeting place for scientists. Coffee houses became the nerve centers of the city where information flowed as freely as coffee. Their design encouraged interaction, long tables, shared benches, and newspapers for all. Strangers became conversation partners and news was read aloud for everyone. The air buzzed with ideas and the aroma of roasting beans. Coffee houses were more than places to drink, they were engines of connection and change. Here, people became more informed and engaged with the world. The coffee house was a new kind of public space, open to all. It was the birthplace of a more connected, thoughtful society. The age of the coffee house had arrived. London's coffee houses earned the nickname penny universities. For the price of a cup, anyone could access a world of knowledge. Here, you could hear poets, scientists, and politicians debate the latest ideas. Coffee houses offered an informal education, open to all, not just the elite. News traveled fast. Runners carried updates between coffee houses and handwritten newsletters were read aloud. The public became active participants in the exchange of information. Coffee houses fostered a well-informed, engaged society. New ideas spread rapidly. A discovery in Oxford could be debated in London the next day. Authorities grew nervous. King Charles II tried to ban coffee houses in 1675, calling them hotbeds of dissent. Public outcry forced him to back down. Inside, rules encouraged civil, rational debate, no drunken arguments allowed. People came to learn, share, and challenge each other's thinking. This culture of open discussion was a key ingredient of the Enlightenment. Coffee houses were more than places to drink. They were classrooms for society. They taught people to think critically and question the world. The penny university model changed how people learned and connected. Coffee houses became the intellectual heart of the city. Coffee houses became magnets for the era's brightest minds. At London's Grecian Coffee House, Isaac Newton and Royal Society scientists debated their discoveries. In Paris, Café Procope hosted Enlightenment thinkers like Voltaire, Rousseau, and Diderot. Here, ideas about liberty and reason helped spark the French Revolution. Coffee houses also fueled business innovation. Edward Lloyd's Coffee House became Lloyd's of London, the world's leading insurance market. Jonathan's Coffee House laid the groundwork for the London Stock Exchange. Writers and poets found inspiration and audiences in these lively spaces. Will's Coffee House was the haunt of poet John Dryden. Button's Coffee House inspired Addison and Steele's influential journals. The creative arts, business, and science all flourished in the coffee house atmosphere. These establishments were stages for intellectual and cultural life. Coffee houses connected people who would shape the modern world. They were the birthplace of revolutions in thought, art, and commerce. The legacy of these gatherings still echoes today. The coffee house was where great minds met, and history was made. Coffee's arrival in Europe fueled the age of reason. Before coffee, most people drank beer or wine, even at breakfast, leaving minds clouded. Coffee changed everything. It was a stimulant, not a depressant. Suddenly, people were alert, focused, and ready for debate. The drink powered scientists, businessmen, and philosophers through long hours of work and discussion. Coffee houses became spaces for rational, civil discourse. Merit mattered more than status. Here, ideas rose or fell on their own merits. This new environment nurtured the scientific revolution and the Enlightenment. Coffee and conversation created a public sphere where opinions could be formed and shared. People saw themselves as informed citizens, not just subjects. The combination of caffeine and conversation transformed society. The coffee house became the engine of progress and reason. The world was waking up, one cup at a time. Coffee houses didn't just fuel ideas, they powered commerce and revolution. Business deals moved from noisy taverns to the professional setting of the coffee house. Lloyd's of London and the London Stock Exchange were born from coffee house meetings. Early newspapers gathered news from coffee house chatter, spreading information quickly. Coffee houses became the original social networks, connecting people and markets. Politically, they were hotbeds of dissent, places where revolutions were planned. In Paris, Café de Foy was the launchpad for the French Revolution. In Boston, the Green Dragon Tavern, part coffee house, part headquarters, hosted the Sons of Liberty as they plotted the Boston Tea Party. Coffee became a symbol of independence in America. Across Europe and America, coffee houses brewed the desire for freedom into action. The world's revolutions often began over a cup of coffee. The golden age of the European coffee house faded, but its legacy endures. Coffee houses created the third place, not home, not work, where people gather to share ideas. They fostered open debate and information sharing, the foundation of modern democracy. Newspapers, financial markets, and scientific journals all trace their roots to coffee house culture. The shift from alcohol to coffee helped create a more productive, focused workforce, essential for the Industrial Revolution. The modern office and the coffee break are direct descendants of these early establishments. Today's coffee shops still serve as meeting places for business, creativity, and connection. For the price of a latte, you access the world, just as people once did with a penny and a pamphlet. The coffee house blueprint for social interaction remains as valuable as ever. Its spirit lives on in every cafe around the world. When you walk into a coffee shop today, you're part of a centuries-old story. Your morning cup connects you to the thinkers, revolutionaries, and entrepreneurs who changed the world. The buzz of conversation in your cafe echoes the debates of London and Paris coffee houses. The penny university spirit is alive. Coffee still sharpens minds and sparks ideas. This simple drink helped create public spaces where information and opinions could be freely exchanged. Coffee fueled the scientific revolution, the Enlightenment, and the birth of modern capitalism. Its legacy is everywhere in our democracies, our financial systems, and our scientific traditions. The coffeehouse model broke down old hierarchies and valued knowledge over status. So next time you sip your coffee, remember its journey, from Ethiopian highlands to Arabian rituals, to European revolutions, and finally, to your hands. That cup is a link to a past that shaped our present. Sometimes the most profound changes begin with something as simple as a new way to start the day. The revolution of the mind continues, one cup at a time. Coffee's story is still being written, every morning, everywhere.